Hey guys, it's Alicia, and today we're going to cover making sure you have the right content on your site to help improve your SEO. The content on your site is key to how your website shows up in search engine results. In this video, we're going to go over 17 different ways you can improve the content on your site, thus improving your SEO. Of course, before we get too far, I want to let you know that there will be links to more resources in the video's description. And remember, subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications for future helpful content. So, let's get started. Keyword ranking matters. Remember, Google is still a computer algorithm. It has to look at something to calculate rankings, and keywords are still a big part of that. This is an example of a brand new site that grew from 0 to 260,000 monthly visits with less than 30 articles. How did they do it? They found a good niche and did strategic keyword research. There are many great tools out there to help you with this. A couple of our favorites are KW Finder, SEMrush, and Ahrefs. The trick is finding a good keyword with search volume while also not picking something that's too competitive. Also, don't forget about multilingual SEO. Keywords in other languages are sometimes a lot less competitive. The English market is very saturated when it comes to content marketing. For example, in English, let's look up the term marketing strategies. We can see that it has a global volume of around 48,000 searches per month. If you look at SERPs for this term, you'll see that trying to rank for it means going up against huge domains with high domain authority. In other words, marketing strategies is going to be hard to rank for. If you're smart and you're not a big brand with lots of authority, you probably wouldn't try to tackle this keyword. However, if you consider the same term in Spanish, you can see the search volume is still respectable at around 36,000 per month. And competing against the sites that rank for this term is much more realistic. That is now something you could tackle. When it comes to other languages, you will find that a lot of search terms are simply easier to rank for. It's important that you include your main focus keyword in your blog post or page title tag. In the past, SEO experts recommended placing your keyword at the beginning of the title whenever possible, as this would carry more weight in search engines. In 2021, this approach is slowly losing advocates, and although having important keywords in early positions in title tags is still important, things are now moving towards more complex scenarios where click-through rate optimization should be taken into account on top of keyword relevancy. Some have reported seeing 20% increases in their CTRs simply by making small tweaks to their titles. So how do you add your focus keyword to your title tags? Titles are limited by pixels now, but Yoast SEO uses character counts, which is a close approximation. You can manually set a title tag in the Yoast SEO plugin. Remember that Google has a viewable limit of around 60 characters on desktop. If you go over that, searchers may not see your entire title on SERPs. Another factor to consider is whether or not to use your company name at the end of your title tags. This won't hurt your SEO, but having your company name might not always be the best decision in terms of increasing your CTR or demonstrating the relevance of your content. It will also eat into your character limits, giving you fewer characters to play with and potentially causing your title tags to be cut short in the search results. But it's worth noting that Google sometimes tweaks title tags if it thinks it can do a better job, and often this results in your brand name being added to the end of the title. Meta descriptions do not affect your WordPress SEO when it comes to rankings. However, they do affect your CTR. A well-written meta description can entice users to click on your post instead of one of the above or below it in SERPs. Plus, the higher your CTR, the more relevant Google will deem your content, therefore ranking your page higher. So in a sense, meta descriptions can indirectly affect your rankings. You can set your meta description manually in the Yoast SEO plugin by clicking on the Edit Snippet button below the editor. Check out our video guide to adding meta descriptions in WordPress. Anything over 160 characters might not be visible in SERPs. Also, it's wise to include your focus keyword in your meta description. Google will highlight the search term in bold when displaying it in the search results. For example, let's say you search for alternative search engines in Google. Kinsta happens to have a blog post with alternative search engines in the meta description, so Google bolds this keyword as it is relevant to your search term. By including your focus keyword in your meta description, you can stand out a little bit more. Remember, however, that as with title tags, Google automatically rewrites some meta descriptions. What you input isn't necessarily what will always show up in SERPs. Check out our video guide to writing better meta descriptions. The Google crawler, Googlebot, checks HTML header tags such as H1, H2, H3, etc. to determine the relevancy of your site's content. Generally, the best practice is to have a single H1 tag per post or page, and then multiple H2s and H3s underneath that. Think of this as a hierarchy of importance. The H1 tag is your most important header and should contain your focus keyword. This is the main title of the page. Additional headers could also include your keyword or long tail variations of it. However, don't abuse headers. These should just be used to split up your content to make it easier for visitors to read, not as a means to stuff keywords into prominent places in your pages. Most WordPress themes, if coded properly, will automatically assign the title of your page or post as the H1 header. You can then assign H2, H3, H4 headers within your post or page. You can create a header in the classic editor using the drop-down in the visual editor. This automatically assigns the selected text the HTML tags that Google will need to read your headers. In the block editor, you can choose the header block to achieve the same effect. Of course, you can always add the HTML tags manually as well. Google and visitors love high-quality content. It's also generally much better to publish long-form content than it is to post shorter pieces. This can vary, of course. If you run a news site, this might actually be the opposite, since you'll want to put out content quickly to make sure you're keeping up with relevant happenings. However, long-form content has time and again proven to win on SERPs. As you can see, websites holding the top 3 SERP positions tend to have much longer content. Capscom MediaWorks also published some statistics on the importance of content length aligned with those from Backlinko. And even a few years back, there were already signs of the importance of long-form content. Specifically, CanIRank analyzed a variety of SEO influencing factors, such as whether longer content generates more backlinks and what happens to rankings for those on the 3rd and 4th pages. In short, they found that longer content, even when other possible factors are accounted for, still ranks better. You've probably come across WordPress anchor links, especially if you read a lot of long blog posts. These are links that enable you to jump around to different parts of the post. We use them on the Kinsta blog to create a table of contents for some of our articles. Anchor links are excellent for improving user experience, as they enable readers to get right to the answers they're looking for. In a long post, where some readers may just need a portion of the information your content provides, this is very helpful and prevents the need for excessive scrolling. They also make life easier for other sites that want to link to your content, allowing them to link directly to the section that they're referencing rather than dropping users at the top of a long article. Additionally, your WordPress anchor links may also appear under your post's titles on SERPs in the form of Google site links, as seen here. Users looking for very specific information who might have passed on your headline might click on one of your site links. This can help you generate more organic traffic. Check out our full guide to learn how to create anchor links for your posts. Keyword cannibalization occurs when 2 or more pages on your WordPress site compete for the same keyword. While this can sometimes result in both pages ranking, it's usually easier to focus all of your efforts on a single page rather than diluting page authority across multiple pages. This, in theory, will help one version rank even higher. In this example, we can see Yoast ranking with 2 results. By combining these 2 pages and the signals that go with them, they could stand a better chance of moving up in the rankings. Keyword cannibalization can also lead to unstable rankings, causing your page's positions to fluctuate, as it may be unclear to search engines which is the most relevant page to be used. This means one page may rank well for a few days, then the other page may take its place, but in a lower position. There are several ways to check whether keyword cannibalization is causing issues for your WordPress site. You can quickly see any ranking shifts where different pages jump in and out of the rankings. You could also use Google Search Console to see when multiple pages rank for the same keywords. In the search results section, also known as the performance report, select the Queries tab and select the average position box above the chart. Then filter rows by position, where position is smaller than 20. This will show the first 2 pages in Google's results. Next, making sure the clicks, impressions, and average position boxes are all selected, review high impression queries with a position greater than 1. By clicking each keyword and selecting the Pages tab, you can reveal whether more than one page ranks for the selected query. It's important to note that it's also common for site links to show up with links to other pages on your site, so you should double-check any cases when more than one page appears to rank for a query. You may want to add your target country to the filters at the top, particularly if you have your content translated into other languages. Here in this screenshot, you can see that we have 2 pages ranking for the query WordPress multi-site hosting. Notice how the average position has no consistency. Armed with this data, we may decide to merge the content into one super page or review the content to avoid targeting the keyword on one of the ranking pages. Meta keywords are a thing of the past. We're simply including them in this video for those who might be wondering if they should still be using them or not. The simple answer is no. Google and Bing used to rely on meta keywords in their ranking algorithms, but that's no longer the case. However, according to Yandex, may be used when determining a page's relevance to search queries. If you want to add meta keywords to your WordPress site's posts and pages, you can do so manually by inserting this tag in your site's header. Evergreen content can be very important when it comes to WordPress SEO and long-term organic traffic. This term refers to content that is always relevant no matter when you read it. Usually, when it comes to publishing evergreen content, the writer has to occasionally update the posts. After all, most industries change slightly over time. Have you ever seen a box appear at the top of a Google SERP in the form of a list, table, or paragraph, often accompanied by 1 or more images? These are called featured snippets, and they can help your page jump to the top of Google's search results into position 0. Here's an example of a featured snippet. This can obviously have extremely positive implications on the number of clicks your page gets, so earning featured snippets is a great way to drive more traffic to your website. The question is, how do you optimize your pages for featured snippets? Unfortunately, there's no magic recipe to get your content into the featured snippets. However, from our personal experience, we found the following can help. Add schema markup to help Google understand what your content is about and how it fits into your website. Use header tags, bulleted lists, and numbered lists effectively. Structure your posts in an organized fashion. Keep your paragraphs short. Featured snippets tend to be around 40 to 50 words in length. Use questions as headings and answer them below. Questions often trigger featured snippets. Use high-quality images and videos. Follow these tips, and you should be right on the path. Google Discover is Android's content suggestion service. It's basically a feed of content that Google thinks users will find relevant based on their search history and other content they've read. Mobile traffic is growing like crazy, so optimizing your posts for this platform can only help you. Since Google Discover isn't search-based, keyword research and optimization won't help you get your posts into users' feeds. There are, however, several actionable steps you can take to improve your chances. Create high-quality content. Use images and videos in your posts. Create evergreen content as well as new, timely posts. Build trust with your content by incorporating social proof. Translate your content and make your pages load fast. You can track how much traffic Google Discover is sending to your website along with the pages appearing by heading to the Discover report in Google Search Console. This tip also isn't about a direct ranking factor, but we still think it's important. There are a few key pages that every quality website should have. If yours is missing them, you run the risk of looking less than credible to your visitors. If you don't already, you should have the following pages on your WordPress site: an About page. This should provide some basic information about your brand, your mission, and what you have to offer visitors. It often helps to frame this content as a narrative, such as by describing how your brand came to be. A contact page, displaying a physical address if your business has one. Phone number, email, and other relevant contact details show users there's a real person behind your site. It also makes it easy for them to reach out to you with questions about your products or services, which can help you land sales. A disclosure page, privacy policy, and terms and conditions. The legal pages needed for your website will vary somewhat depending on the type of content you produce. If you provide any advice, such as through blog posts or incorporate affiliate links, a disclosure page is ideal. Any site that collects user data should be GDPR compliant and/or CCPA compliant. If you sell products or services online, you'll want to list your terms and conditions. Besides these pages, adding some social proof to your site can help increase your trustworthiness as well. Links to your social media accounts and testimonials and reviews from clients, customers, or users are ideal. Updating old content is a solid SEO strategy that we use and recommend. Google considers content freshness when ranking results, so going through your posts and modifying them to better reflect changes in your industry can boost your visibility significantly. You may want to look into the free online tool, Animals Revive. Simply type in your URL and allow the tool access to your Google Analytics. It will then highlight posts you can update to improve your SEO. You can also practice content pruning, which involves removing dated content from your site if it can't be updated and improved. This can be a pretty scary process. After all, deleting content you worked hard to create probably goes against your instincts. However, it's better to have less content that is of high quality than it is to have a lot of posts that aren't relevant or valuable to visitors. This will also require less crawl budget or how many pages on your site that Google crawls within a given period of time. Just remember to create 301 redirects for removed content so visitors don't get lost. Adding additional languages to your site can be a huge game changer when it comes to WordPress SEO and traffic. Neil Patel experimented with this and saw a 47% increase in traffic after translating his site into 82 languages. Of course, this won't work for everyone, and success depends on your business and geographical location. However, it's definitely something to think about. At Kinsta, we've translated our site into 9 additional languages and have seen a 107% increase in organic traffic in the last year because of it. When it comes to implementing this on your WordPress website, Google won't penalize you for duplicate content, but it's important you have the correct hreflang and canonical tags in place. In this example, the tags highlight the URL for the English version of the page, but also show that there's a Spanish version. This helps search engines to understand which version of the page is the most appropriate for their users, based on the user's browser language settings. You'll also notice the xDefault hreflang attribute, which shows which version should be used in case you don't have a translated version available in the user's language. There are plugins you can use to translate your content and translation services for WordPress, such as Wiglot. Remember, no automatic translation tool will ever beat having an actual person translate it for you. We recommend hiring a native speaker or using a professional translation service. People like to consume content in different ways. Some are happy to read through long blog posts, while others prefer to watch video content. If you offer your users both options, you can target a wider audience. Optimizing videos for YouTube, known as YouTube SEO, is a whole different discipline that you can read more about in our guide to YouTube SEO. The Video tab in Google allows you to search for video content. While Google is pretty good at pulling videos in from web pages, you can encourage Google to include your videos by providing more context using the video object schema. The video object schema can be used to feed Google with more details about your videos, including the title, description, and thumbnail image. We have found that the videos we include, together with structured data, often perform well in Google's video results, particularly for keywords that we also rank well for in Google search. WordPress out of the box is pretty good already when it comes to SEO. However, we always recommend that people install an SEO plugin as well. This allows you to have full control over optimizing what Google sees from your website. Kinsta's WordPress hosting can speed up your website by up to 200%, and you'll get 24/7 support from our WordPress expert engineers. Let us show you the Kinsta difference. Try a free demo of our My Kinsta dashboard at demo.kinsta.com. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials, explainers, and helpful content like this.